Dot, we are so pleased to welcome you to the show. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you for having me, Miigwech.
So I understand that you are a wedding officiant. Can you tell us about how you legally became an Indigenous officiant?
Okay, I started in 1991. The chief I had at the time wrote me a letter to support, my becoming a wedding officiant, as everybody that I knew was either going to City Hall or going to, at that time, was Justice of the Peace. And I thought, well, we should have our own wedding officiants, because we not only just do the paper, but we also, we encompass the ceremony that goes with it. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes it so beautiful. And then, the government, of course, wants paper. We had a lot of our own people, like our Indigenous people, just getting married with the ceremony, but they never had the paper to say, yes, I'm legally married. So I pursued that since 1991, and I met with a few people. I would go to Toronto, I would write letters, I made photocopies, and then finally, I think 2 years now, we had a meeting here, and my chief, Scott McLeod, supported me to get a resolution to the Chiefs of Ontario to back us up in getting this the right to marry people, like anybody, Indigenous or non-Indigenous. So we moved forward with that, and we finally got it approved. And now, right on the marriage license, you will see clergy, minister, or elder, Indigenous elder, right on the paper. That's amazing. So when I saw that, I wanted to kiss the paper. I was so in awe, because, the government always wants us to have paper. Well, give us the right to have the paper to do the things that we need to do for our own people, because our ceremonies, our weddings are more than just, a piece of paper. We have ceremony with it. We have a song, we have a prayer, we have a smudge. And so that's why it was so important that we get that legal document, because without a legal document, two people getting married just in ceremony does not stand up in the law.
Right.
In courts, So this way here now, they have their proper marriage license, and they have a legal document that they can, keep and say, yes, we are married.
Well,
Yes.
Sorry, Dot. So what sets an Indigenous wedding ceremony apart? I know you'd mentioned things like smudge and prayer and all that, but what specifically sets an Indigenous wedding ceremony apart from the rest?
Okay, some of the rest, like I do all weddings, whether on the whole medicine wheel. If you're a human, I'll marry you. So some of people just want like a simple wedding. They're elderly people, they just never got married, so they'll just have like a little simple wedding, and no traditional or ceremony, Indigenous ceremony. So they just have that, which is what they want. And some of our people, they want the whole ceremonies with the lighting of the fire and the dressing in the regalias, and having all the elders, come and do the pipe and talk to the couple that's getting married, to let them know that this is a very serious thing that you're doing. And so there's different types. There's no two weddings the same, but in the end they get their license, and that's what they need.
So Dot, in your time you've been doing this, is there a ceremony that you've done that stood out to you, or maybe has it been maybe one on the land, or is there one that maybe stands out above the rest for you?
Well, actually, there is one that I did out on the land, and we had all the elders there, and everybody was dressed in their traditional regalias, and all the elders, were able to come, and they brought their pipes, and during the ceremonies, they were lighting their pipes, and the groom had to light his fire with a flint. So that was the first how we started. And once his flint was lit, then we can move on with the rest of the wedding that we had to do. And then it was really nice, because at the supper table, They also sat all the elders at the supper table, and then so in the evening, because there's no drugs and alcohol for traditional weddings, and so in the evening we had a giveaway, and we had like a little mini powwow. It was just beautiful. So now I think everybody should get married at a powwow. Just kidding.
Well,
Would be a good idea.
Well, that sounds like it'd be an amazing time, especially it being on the land as well.
That's right.
Now, so you will marry anyone, right? So
Yes.
it does. So maybe what's the strangest combination of faiths that you can remember that you've married?
Well, most of the people I have married, same sex, and I've married to, just like I said, a lot of seniors. Sometimes they wait for the last minute to get married, so I just have a little quick ceremony for them, and it's all different. It's hard to explain. It's what the people want. This is what I do. If they want a nice drum, or a song and a smudge, and some people, like, we'll take a boat and go out to an island and have a ceremony of the wedding there, and we all gather, at a lodge somewhere. It's really nice. So it varies. None of them are ever the same. I had one lady that came down the river in a canoe in her wedding dress with her dad. I thought that was great.
Wow.
It was different and nice.
So in doing this, like, what do you love about officiating weddings, Dot? Like, what is it about these that you just love doing?
Well,
so much?
I guess what I love about the weddings is the people. I get attached to people, and I like to help them. Like, I usually end up, while the bride's getting ready, not allowed to see the groom. Well, I usually help the man settle down and calm down, and, because they're nervous, and chit chat with them. And yeah, but I just love people. It's a happy occasion. Like yesterday, we had one in Bear Island. I went over on the ice road. They came and got me. We had the wedding in the band office. It was Valentine's Day. And it was really, very special.
Well, so how often are you doing this then? You just said you were at one yesterday. Now you're on our show here, which we appreciate. So how often are you out doing this?
As needed, whenever I'm called. If I'm not booked, I'll come. Yeah.
Okay.
I just said I don't do skydiving or scuba diving.
Well, there we go.
I'll do everything else.
There we go. So we got the stipulations for signing you up if people need an officiant. So in your, what does love look like? We're here talking about love. What does love look like in your eyes?
Well, I can tell when I'm there with the couple that's making this commitment. I see it. And I can just tell that these people really, really are meant for each other. You just see it because you see so many people, and you see that love there, and you see that, they're just so happy. There's no words to describe it. Mm-hmm. And it's nice to see that in these, and they're not always young people, it's different age groups.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And before we let you go, Dot, we're asking about love. What are some of the things that you love? Like, it could be, is it a person, your family, a pet maybe? What are some of the things you love, Dot?
Well, I'm a powwow dancer.
Okay.
And I go to a lot of powwows. I go to Albuquerque. I've been there a couple of times. But I travel the powwow trail, and I love to hang out with my powwow brothers and sisters and travel all over to every community that I can go. And I usually I went to Chicago once, and I saw somebody I knew. I said, oh my God, I'm in Chicago, and here's a friend from Wikwemicon, You just never know. Yeah.
Well, Dot, we certainly appreciate you coming on our show and sharing a bit of your story. And if anybody needs a wedding officiant, I'll be sure to send them your way. But we do really appreciate you coming on and sharing a bit of what you do and what you love, Dot. We really appreciate it.
And other people can get their license for Ontario. You have to make like my license is now held by Nipissing First Nation.
Okay.
And I do the weddings, and I'm accountable to them. If I do don't show up for a wedding or something really awful happens, I'm accountable for that. Mm-hmm. But any First Nation now in Ontario, whether it's a friendship center, a First Nation, a Métis Nation, any Indigenous organization that's wants to give that power to their people, they can. And I'm hoping that it'll just come, and a lot of people, will come and do this for our people.
Okay, that's good to know, Dot. Thanks so much for this.
Thank you, and thanks for having me. Miigwech.